The aftermath of World War II brought to light the horrifying extent of Nazi war atrocities, and the world sought to bring those responsible to justice. However, many high-ranking Nazi military personnels, especially those who orchestrated the Holocaust, were not willing to face the consequences of their actions. Instead, they embarked on a covert journey to escape the clutches of justice. With the assistance of friendly governments and organizations, thousands of SS members found refuge in South America, particularly in Argentina, Brazil, and Chile. This video delves into the escape routes and hideouts of Nazi war criminals after Second World War, the support networks that facilitated their escape, and the communities and organizations that provided assistance to fleeing Nazi personnels in South America. Argentina emerged as a prominent destination for escaping Nazis due to its close ties with Germany and the presence of a large German immigrant population. Under the direction of Argentine President Juan Perón, diplomats and intelligence officers established secret escape routes, commonly known as ratlines, through ports in Spain and Italy to smuggle former SS officers and Nazi party members out of Europe. During World War II, Argentina maintained neutrality for much of the conflict, partly due to the hundreds of thousands of German immigrants who lived in the country. This allowed it to maintain close ties with Germany and fostered the ideal environment for the establishment of escape routes after the war. With Argentina's neutral stance, Perón was able to harbor Nazi war criminals with relative ease, as the country was not directly involved in the conflict and was not a signatory to the international agreements regarding the prosecution of war criminals. Juan Perón's affinity for fascist ideologies, influenced by his experience as a military attaché in Italy during the early years of Second World War, played a significant role in his decision to recruit Nazi collaborators with military, scientific, and technical expertise to assist Argentina during the post-war period. In 1946, the Perón government sent a message through Argentine Cardinal Antonio Caggiano to a French counterpart, expressing Argentina's willingness to receive Nazi collaborators from France facing potential war crimes prosecution. This marked the beginning of a covert operation where French war criminals were provided with Argentine tourist visas issued by the International Red Cross, allowing them to make their way to South America. In the post-war era, numerous Vatican officials sought to aid Catholic refugees amidst the rise of communist regimes across Europe. Unfortunately, some of these officials unwittingly assisted in the escape of Nazi war criminals. However, certain clerics, like Bishop Alois Hudel, were aware of their actions and actively abetted Nazi war criminals. Hudel, an Austrian-born admirer of Hitler who ministered to prisoners of war in Rome, provided false Vatican-issued identity documents that were later used to obtain passports from the International Red Cross. Hudel's involvement in aiding Nazi war criminals extended beyond providing false documents. He also collaborated with a Franciscan monk in Genoa, Italy, who played a key role in facilitating the escape of Adolf Eichmann, one of the most notorious Nazi war criminals. With a falsified Red Cross passport and an Argentine visa, Eichmann successfully boarded a steamship to Buenos Aires in 1950 under the alias Ricardo Clement. He lived under this identity for several years until his capture by Israeli Secret Service agents in 1960. Adolf Eichmann's story is emblematic of the broader trend of Nazi war criminals finding refuge in South America. As a high-ranking SS lieutenant colonel, Eichmann was responsible for orchestrating the transportation of European Jews to concentration camps during the Holocaust. After the war, he utilized the ratlines established by Argentine officials to flee Europe and evade capture. On May 11, 1960, Eichmann, then living as Ricardo Clement, was abducted by Israeli Secret Service agents in Buenos Aires. His capture and subsequent trial in Israel highlighted the determination of the international community to bring Nazi war criminals to justice, even decades after their crimes were committed. The trial, held in 1961, served as a seminal moment in history, as it brought to the forefront the horrors of the Holocaust and the collective responsibility of the international community to hold those responsible accountable for their actions. Despite Eichmann's capture, many other Nazi war criminals were never apprehended and lived out their lives in South America, far from the reach of justice. The scale of the Nazi presence in South America was significant, with thousands of Nazi officers and collaborators escaping from Europe to find sanctuary in countries like Brazil, Chile, and Argentina. According to German prosecutors who examined secret files from Brazil and Chile, it is estimated that between 9,000 and 12,000 Nazi war criminals found refuge in South America after the war. Brazil was a destination for between 1,500 and 2,000 Nazi war criminals, while Chile provided sanctuary to between 500 and 1,000. However, Argentina was by far the most popular destination, with as many as 5,000 Nazis relocating there to start new lives. The ratlines, established by Argentine officials, were instrumental in facilitating the escape of Nazi war criminals from Europe. These covered escape routes involved a network of individuals and organizations that operated discreetly to smuggle fugitive Nazis out of the continent. Forged travel documents, including Red Cross passports, played a crucial role in enabling the escapees to assume new identities and evade capture. Regrettably, many of the Nazis who sought refuge in South America were never brought to justice. Some of the most notorious war criminals lived out their days in relative obscurity. For instance, SS Colonel Walter Roth, responsible for the creation of mobile gas chambers that killed over 100,000 people, died in Chile in 1984. Eduard Rauschmann, infamously known as the Butcher of Riga, died in Paraguay in 1977. Gustav Wagner, an SS officer known as the Beast, died in Brazil in 1980 after Brazil's Supreme Federal Court refused to extradite him to Germany due to administrative discrepancies. The difficulties in apprehending Nazi war criminals in South America were compounded by the support and sympathy they received from certain elements within the local communities. In some cases, Nazi fugitives assimilated into German expatriate communities, which provided them with essential assistance and protection. Additionally, some South American governments turned a blind eye to the presence of Nazis within their borders, viewing them as potential assets due to their technical expertise and knowledge. The escape of Nazi war criminals to South America remains a dark chapter in post-World War II history. With the assistance of friendly governments, organizations, and even the Catholic Church, thousands of SS members found refuge in countries like Argentina, Brazil, and Chile. The establishment of escape routes, particularly the ratlines, facilitated their escape from justice and allowed them to evade accountability for their heinous crimes. While some Nazi war criminals were brought to justice, many lived out their lives in South America, free from the consequences of their actions. The scale of Nazi presence in the region underscores the magnitude of the problem and the challenges faced by those seeking to bring these criminals to justice. The escape of the Nazis to South America serves as a grim reminder of the importance of international cooperation in pursuing justice for war crimes. It also highlights the need for continued vigilance in ensuring that history's darkest chapters are not forgotten and that those responsible for such atrocities are held accountable for their actions, no matter how much time has passed. Only through a commitment to truth, justice, and remembrance can we hope to prevent such horrors from being repeated in the future. If you found this video informative and thought-provoking, please consider giving it a thumbs up and subscribing to our channel for more intriguing historical content. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in the next one.